can go.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, good morning and welcome to another episode of Three Guys Media podcast. It's a good day. It's a very good Hamatan season. It's Hamatan in Nigeria. I know your side, you people are dealing with serious winter over there.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, we are. This is the third day of December 2024. We are gradually winding down to the year, and a lot of things are happening in Nigeria. A lot of conversations, a lot of activities, a lot of political jingoism, back and forth conversation about policies, about implementations of even those policies. But today we are going to delve into and try to understand the new tax reform that
Yeah.
was put forward by, the boss at FIRS in line with the Presidential Task Force on Tax that was formed when Bola Tinubu got into office. So for a while, for like some months now, this team have been trying to rejig the Nigerian tax system, trying to see where, according to them, where we can begin to gain from economic policies that has to do with tax, even Nigerian fiscal policy, if you call it so.
Yeah.
So these tax reforms, according to speculation, is supposed to reshape, the economic indices of the country,
Yeah.
ensuring that money go or revenue that has been generated, go to specific areas where they come from. If you bring more money, you should be able to benefit more. And then also one of the prospect of the reform is also to reduce tax evasion from what we hear. And then maybe the other side of reducing tax evasion is to improve compliance. A lot of times you say here that people are defaulting their tax return, people are evading it and all those things.
Yeah.
So today we are going to talk about it. We're going to understand what it means for businesses, what it means for households, what it means for the normal average Nigerian. Are we going to see an improved tax collection process? The tax that's collected going to work for us as citizens, or is it just going to be the normal thing we hear that the money that's been collected from tax do not even go into development of the country? So all these we're going to see how we can easily dissect, and have a proper conversation. Yeah. So um, first of all, it's a full week
Yeah.
from the team going to National Assembly to defend the bill, to defend the reform. Sorry, and one of the highlight of that event was senators saying that some section of the Senate senators or the leaders were trying to force this tax reform down their throats, and most notably the senators from the north. There has been this very widespread, um, I don't know how to call it, that this particular reform is not going to
Favor the North.
favor the north. The governors forum during the NEC meeting had even told the president to step down the reform for now, while deeper consultation is being done. But then again, the probing is still on. A lot of people are still asking the questions. A lot of people still want to understand what the bill is about. Maybe during our conversations, we can pull up the asking of the bill somewhere so people can also, our viewers can see it. And
Yeah.
so people are beginning to trying to make sense of this bill. What are the implications? What are the perspective? What are stakeholders saying? What are experts saying? And from
Yeah.
what it looks like, those people from the South, a lot of people from the South, let's say the stakeholders, political actors are saying, this bill is good. These reforms are actually going to work for us because
Yeah.
what you produce, it comes back to you eventually. But those on the other side, the North are saying, not all of them in the North, yeah, but the core North are saying, no. this thing is to our detriment. We don't want it. In fact, we feel like it is going to impoverish us the more. But out of everything that's been said, I have my reservations regarding this reform because, in as much as I do not want to join voices with the popular saying that it is being done in a hurry, I feel like, as a person, this is my personal opinion, I feel like there is more to this particular tax reform than we are actually discussing because it's really good, no
The
doubt.
headlines.
The headlines you get, what we're seeing is good, but I'm thinking for a while now, this administration has not been able to get it right with with their economic policies. In fact, they keep doing try and error. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. This morning, I was having a conversation with my dad before I came out, and I told him that why is it that every single thing that is happening in the country now is looking like a plan to next election? Because I have a feeling that
A plan to do what? I didn't get that. I didn't
a
quite get that.
plan like it is spiraling into next election because let me state the facts here. Definitely,
Okay.
a southern person would have to complete the remaining 4 years after 2027. So I feel
Yeah.
like the presidency are not concerned about what the North feels because they know that the North do not stand a chance to bring a candidate before 2031. So definitely the fight is still going to be among Southerners.
Yeah.
And the presidency first did the local government reforms and some more
Reform. Yeah.
powers with local governments, and a lot of people are happy. Now they're coming now with this particular reform that is benefiting from how it looks people of the South, where he feels like a lot of people, the voting powers are going to rest. So I'm thinking, if they can't get economic policies right, why is there a deep urgency for this tax bill to begin to try? And they're not even minding what the North is saying. After all, let them keep talking. They won't matter in next election.
No, see, if they pass that bill now, it's not like they don't mind. But it's better he does it now before 3 years' time. So if they pass it now, Nigerians forget easily. They're not going to remember
Yeah.
anything that happened now. So, but are you done? No.
No, no, no. Okay, so I'm just,
Mm,
but then again, but that's on one side. But now the part of the bill I really
mm,
I really want to talk about is the part where they say businesses
yeah.
from businesses who their turnovers after a year is not to 50 million
Million.
will probably not be taxed, will not
Yeah.
need to be taxed. And so the question now arises that who normally Nigerian businesses always like to declare their books in minus. You see, a lot of times people find a way to evade it and say, we didn't make any profit this year, and they roll over. So, how do you begin to hold businesses? You have to first audit them, right? So, if you audit a business and they tell you their books are in the negative, then what do? You begin to say, no, you people made money. How do you now calculate the money? How do you ensure that these people? So, I feel like there's going to be a problem having businesses report their financials in as in to be over 50 million because they know if we report less than 50 million, we won't be taxed this year. Next year, we won't be taxed. And so it keeps going on. And I feel like there's going to be a problem at the end of the day with, taxing a lot of businesses because a lot of them will be deaf. There are some businesses that are very informal, probably our Igbo brothers who have a lot of businesses. Businesses all over the countries are most of them don't
Yeah.
even operate formally. So how do you begin to tax these businesses if they don't report a 50 million profit at the end of the year? So I feel like that is something that needs to be looked at. Also, Senator Ali Ndume talked about the tax that now comes from buying commodities. If you don't tax people who their salary are below a certain amount of money, say below 1 million, but they still go out to buy goods, They still go out to buy every single thing. You go to restaurants, eat food, there's VAT added to it. You go to buy something, there's you're being everywhere you go, VAT added on it. And so at the end of the day, people are still paying more because if you begin to tax businesses who are above 50 million for their profit, they will also find a way to put that money somewhere, and somebody will pay for that particular thing you're charging them on. And so it comes back to the people. So you're not paying tax, but you're paying tax. So I feel like they need to flesh out these things. You might not pay tax from your salary, but then you go to the market at the end of the month, you're paying over 10 to 20% of your salary
Yeah.
still on VAT, different VATs that is here and there. So that's, to me, I feel that that is where we need to have good conversation around, and they need to explain it better in that way. So yeah, that's my take.
Okay. A couple of things before I react to what you pointed out, some of the points you made. Um, Let me also lay my own point because the thing is that like tax reform is well. Let me say one thing about the first thing that you said about why he's doing this. I think one of the main reasons is some of these international bodies are sometimes before they support you with loans. You understand? But if they want to keep, if you don't want them to keep supporting you, they will give you like austerity measures that you have to follow. You understand? And then I have to implement those austerity measures before they can give you what you want. So IMF may be involved. I don't know, but that may be the reason. I still the same thing that happened in the structural adjustment program with Babangida,
True.
and
Exactly.
others. Yeah, so but talking about tax reform, the thing is that people are viewing this thing differently. They are seeing tax reform as if to say that it's going to help the government to collect more money. You understand? But that's not really the aim of tax reform or the aim of tax. You understand? Having like a proper tax system. So it's not about revenue collection. You have to think about it like to create a stable financial environment. So they are telling you that at the moment that Nigeria even taxes companies when they report a loss. Nigeria still taxes them. You understand? So Nigerians, the corporate tax rate in Nigeria is one of the highest in the world. And look at our economy.
Okay.
You understand? So I was watching a video. They were doing an argument. It was in the West, just some U.S. senators or something. So they were doing an argument about whether they should bail out um, African companies that have taken loan from the Western companies.
Western
So
companies, yeah.
one guy was saying, oh, why should we bail them out? We give them money, they squander it, this and that. They are corrupt, and all those things. So one of the senators said that that how this money that we are giving them, how do we expect them to pay us back that money? That we are giving them loan, but in actual sense, they can never pay us back. That because when they bring that loan into the economy, the economy doesn't even thrive because businesses doesn't have the room to breathe. So like the tax rate is very high, so businesses don't thrive. You understand? So the thing is, when you bring down tax rate, just the same thing that Trump did in his first term, he brought down the tax rate for the corporate guys, and then the economy started booming. They hire more staff because the production cost obviously will reduce another. So a lot is about the economy. You understand? Having the economy to boom. So if you are not taxing people that are turning over 50 million, these guys, they will try to keep expanding their business. They will have, and then I also heard that Nigeria doesn't have a tax credit at the moment, and this one is going to bring in tax credit. So you can imagine a situation whereby people like you give people tax credit. So based on how they perform or based on what they do, they get like a tax credit that they can defer to and use that to off to like say maybe that we will save this amount of tax based on our tax credit. Nigeria doesn't have that, and I heard that this one is going to introduce it. So what we have is a regressive tax system. Like you can be like having people that doesn't even earn that much paying over and over again on their like based on income tax. Somebody that the federal government is paying 100,000 and you are taxing the person. You understand? It doesn't really make sense. So I think that's what they want to achieve is to just have a stable environment first. Forget this because the northern guys are not talking about the other part of the tax. They're just talking about the ones that concern. And the guys that are saying this are not actually the northern guys. It's not the average man in the north that is saying this thing. No. It's just the politician that is hoping to be a governor tomorrow, that is concerned about the allocation that will come to his state when he becomes a governor or when his godson becomes a governor. Those are the people that are raising concern. They don't care about their people. If they cared about their people, they will look at the bigger picture. You understand? Because the bigger picture is that the current system is making everybody lazy. The current tax, the current the new reform is going to affect my state in Enugu because we don't maybe give much to the contribute much to the VAT system. But I don't care. Of course, but it's going to help. Look at my governor, the state governor. Enugu was had when he came in. I think they had like 44 billion internal generated revenue. Now, because the allocation from the federal government has been reduced, it has been dwindling time and time again. The guy had to sit up. He has raised IGR from 44 billion to 100 and is it 140 or 135 billion. You understand? So like he had to find like ways of getting that money. You understand? It will make people what I would even want, or maybe I'll say it in the next and when we are concluding. So people that are shouting the tax is going to do this and that, they are not actually they don't these people they don't like Nigeria. You understand? Those people that are saying what they are saying about they don't like Nigeria. I'm talking about implementation. Those points that you raised. The thing is that there is no perfect system because if you look at other Western countries, those companies they will still find ways of trying to avoid tax. Even like people that are self-employed, so they will when they buy like if you are self-employed and they don't tax it to the end of the year. So anything you spend relating to your business. So people will even be saving, like when they go to grocery shopping and they buy food, they will save the receipt because at the end they will claim that that receipt is what they spent as their food, right? This is something that they bought for their family. You understand? So there are so many like people will just find ways of cheating the system. Those things will forever be there. You understand? So there is still going to be problem with implementation. People are still going to try and subvert the system, but it's just about looking at the bigger picture, whether it creates like a very good environment for business. Because at the moment, like I think in 2002, they gave how much was that again that they gave these guys? They gave yeah 16 trillion waiver. FG gave Dangote, Honeywell, and some other big companies 60 trillion waiver. You understand? So these are money that the government they are just trying to keep these companies standing. If you know the amount of incentive that had to go into that refinery that was built, just to prop it up, because the environment is not stable for every other person. So I guess I totally support it, and I know that like it's going to help like bring it's not going to fix the system definitely, but it's not going to make it worse. You understand? It's not. I don't think it's going to make it worse. So
So it's about fixing, making it work or fixing it. But then I agree with you. To be honest, it's not. I have no problem with the build too. When you
yeah,
see a good thing, you comment it. A lot of times. Yeah, I
yeah, of
think
course,
Nigeria we
yeah,
always you talked about it one time that then because of you didn't support somebody, if you bring something good, you start,
Yeah,
marketing it.
that is absolute rubbish. That is absolute rubbish. Like I want
I agree
Nigeria
with
to
you. But
succeed.
then,
That is my goal. Anything that is like the local government stuff that Tinubu did, that was perfect. I don't know how he's going to implement it. I don't think he'll be able to afford because the governors can just be like, okay, yeah, I'll support you. Let's we'll have this deal, this and that. You'll be doing this and say, okay, sir, thank you, sir, thank you, sir, thank you, sir. At the end of the day, the governor still controls it. Well, you understand? So, so, but because
that's exactly what I'm saying too. Because even for this particular one, even for this particular one now that I was saying, I feel like they should
yeah,
be, as the reforms are coming, they should also, like, I think a part of the reform talks about, the funds, creating a fund for education, which is something very commendable.
yeah,
When I listen to Rufai on Arise TV, he always wants you to show a blueprint. If you do this,
yeah.
you take money from here. Where is the money going to? We want to
Where
see
is the
what
money? Is the
political
money
science
there?
we call cause and effect. If you're taking money from here, okay. Another thing we didn't spotlight is the fact that the VAT is going to increase by next year from 7.5 to 10%. I think that was one of the issues I had with the reform because, like I keep saying, already people I know how it is with VAT in Nigeria, especially because of our purchasing power is not as much as it should be, and even our earning power too is not so. If you, I know a lot of people who earn below. This is not even story anymore. So if VAT is raised to 10%, a whole 10%, you know what that is
No,
for people
no. The thing,
buying things in the
yeah,
market.
they are hoping. The thing is that the person it's just that these guys. The problem is that the government is lazy. You understand? They just the revenue from oil is going down, and they are thinking of maybe trying to find a way of propping it up. You understand? So, but maybe they are hoping that the the economy will grow if they implement the tax reform. And if the effect of economy growing is that people are going to become a bit richer, so it's going to dilute the effect of the VAT. You understand? Because obviously the increase in VAT is not starting immediately. So maybe as it's taking, that's what they are hoping on. But the thing is that they don't really need. It's just that they are not getting enough money. Like Nigeria needs money.
No, no,
You understand? So
it's not
and
about
that's
getting
why
enough
the
money. I feel like
no, I'm not
go on,
supporting
go on,
them
go on,
for
go on.
not
Sorry,
getting
go
enough money. They are going through the wrong way, thinking that
on.
they will
Okay.
let them increase like tax the people, then increase the revenue through there. But at the end, it doesn't really make any sense. Sha. They shouldn't increase that. But maybe
You,
I'm just
you,
saying that if you ask
you,
them the reason
you
why
know
they
what
are
I'm
doing it,
thinking?
they might. Yeah,
Not that I'm thinking because I think I had this thought the other day. Look at the
yeah.
people who are actually pushing these reforms. FRS chairman and the guy on tax, the committee, what they call it, task force on tax and everything. Do you know we have a minister of budget and national planning, right?
Mm-hmm.
Bagudu.
Are they not going to be part of the tax reform committee?
That's my point. We are supposed to have that minister on every single conversation. As this is happening, he's saying the money from this, we are using it to plan this. You're the Minister of National Planning. We even have a budgeting office. We have people who are quiet. We have people who are supposed to be championing this conversation with these tax guys. So let's say the money comes from tax. Let's say we get all the things right from the
Yeah.
tax reforms. Where does this money go to? How are we sure that where the money is going to, it is to be utilized where it's going to? How does it how does it fit into our next year budget?
It's
How does it
never
fit
good. You
into?
are saying this in as
This
if
is this
say,
is
you know,
these are the
yeah.
conversations we want to be having.
But
But
the
just
way I
like two
look
people
at
just
some of the
gave the brain an
mm,
idea and they are running with it. Yeah.
Is the IMF now? You've seen your president running around now to every place. See, the thing is, the way I see the way I see policies in Nigeria is that I don't see the nitty gritty. Like I don't see it like, okay, if they take this money, okay, they are going to put it in education. I don't believe they are going to put it in education. You understand? I don't see them doing that. They are just going to embezzle it. It's normal. What I see is like the effects on the overall economy. So, for instance, like I said earlier, that the revenue allocation for states have been reducing, and then you see somebody like my state governor trying to do more to trying to attract businesses to the state, trying to do more things like to bring in growth to this because he knows that he can't depend on the federal government. You understand? So if this tax reform is going to make governors to try to build these guys that are in the north that are complaining. And then even let me even talk about what I think should happen is that every state should handle their own resources. You understand? If every state is handling the thing is that the north is thinking that they will not that the thing will affect them more.
Affect them, yeah.
The among all the states in Nigeria, among all the states in Nigeria, the most developed states are not those of the ones that are producing oil. They are not. And even with the
Yeah.
status that Lagos has, the special status that Lagos have, you see that it is not oil that is giving them money. It is just based on
Yeah,
the
yeah,
economy,
yeah.
people being there, you being able to find work in Lagos and work. Them, the government being able to collect money from people that are working because the money is there. You understand? So look, not the future. Like if you look in the next 20, 30 years, but that's the problem that our politicians doesn't think about that. In the next 20 to 30 years, oil is not going to become, it's not like it's going to go, but it's not going to become that of like a high demand like that as it is now. You understand? But food
Hmm.
will always be a high demand. People will always eat.
Always be,
You
always.
understand?
Yeah,
You
true.
understand? So, and these guys, they have the land. There are still some even natural resources that are there that the government is not even tapping into. So it's just that people are just lazy. Like they just don't want to change the status. They are just afraid of changing what is going to happen. Like these guys can be richer, like the north can be richer than Lagos self if they want. You understand? So for me, I if you were like if like say now me where they draw the guy, and I think Tinubu is still going to do something like that. I think the guy is still going to bring up a proposal that will force states to be like that will change the sharing formula. You're going to see. He's just giving them a tip of the iceberg because I there was a time I did my research about a guy and I saw that in his youthful age he was proposing like a true federal structure. You understand? So this is something that he believed when he was very small, when he was still coming up. So those things, those ideologies, those convictions, they don't go away, and you can see him doing them small, small. You understand? So he's still going to this tax reform. They are going to pass it, whether they like it or not. They are going to pass it, and he's still going to bring more things that will like stir up more emotions and all. So I personally, those are what I think anyway. I mean, you can conclude
Well,
anyway.
yeah, yeah. So I just sent you something I saw on Arise. Oyedele
Okay.
is the man in charge of is the I don't know what they call it, task force coordinator or whatever for the tax thing. And so he was trying
Yeah.
to talk about their guiding principle, what and what is their objective and everything. And by and large, the main thing about this conversation is his thought is that it is supposed to give autonomy not just to the states. but also
Mm.
ensure that states begin to, like you said, begin to find different ways to create revenue for themselves. Like you said, Lagos
Yeah.
is doing it. The states around Lagos too are doing it, and then is the main thing now is that every single government agency, government structure begin to look for ways, begin to find avenues to begin to rake in money. Actually, it's important because, like you said, oil will not be here forever. A lot of countries,
It's not
rely on
going to.
tax. You get so. But then again, remember that we need to talk about ensuring an enabling environment for businesses to thrive. Um, and, and another big factor, Nigerian factor, is that a lot of times people jeopardize the effort of businesses. Multiple taxation, like I think that's what one of the reforms are going
Yeah.
to, to take care of. People open business and have to
Yeah.
pay a lot. Abuja here sometimes people come and ask you to pay fine dues for TV, for AC, for fridge, something you have in your own office space or in your own shop, you have to pay for all those things. Like, and you still have to pay dues for every other thing, And it's so strange. Sometimes
Yeah.
you can be driving Abuja safe. There are people who come and be peeping inside your car to see if you are carrying something. Before you know, they'll enter, jump in the front of the car and say you should park, park, park. You should bring local government, whatever, for that thing you're carrying. Like, I don't understand. Something I go to market, I buy goods. Goods. I'm carrying goods home.
I don't
They
think
will stop you that you should pay for. I don't know what they
to
call that
pay
thing.
for this. Yeah, multiple taxes.
So,
Yeah, I don't even think
oh,
they will ever remove that, bro. I mean, they say that the tax reform is going to fix that, but I don't think it will fix it. So, what job would those guys be doing? Those Agbero guys. What
what
job
were
is the
they doing
government going to
before?
fight for?
What were they doing before they found that job?
No, no, no. But how is the government going and the way things are run in Lagos, in a state like Lagos, the way things are run, they are run with those Agbero guys. Those guys are the ones that run Lagos. I don't even think. I don't think. I don't think. I don't think those things. If they will tell you that it's not part of it, you see. They'll tell you that that one you are paying is not. It's not part of you see what's going to happen. I trust
So,
Nigeria. You said you sent something to me. I can't. Where did you send it?
on WhatsApp, I just sent it now. I screen grabbed it from Arise TV.
Okay, you want me to share it?
And you could
Okay.
share it, but it's just some trying to state their mandates and everything that they're about. So I think this is very important because this highlights key areas where the reform is trying to address, and specifically people should be able to understand it and understand the idea or the consolidation around it, so people don't begin to just have beer parlor talks that this is going to cause, this is going to cause. For a while now, Nigeria is always about tribe. You do something, these people say you are trying to shortchange them. You do something, these people say you're trying, you're not in their favor. A lot of times I've always been of the opinion that, let's just clear out this whole state system, or um, what they call that thing that they ask you to bring certain amount of people from different region. If the Northerners want to take the whole thing, let them take it. Let us do something else with our own thing. They've been in the government for years. They're not having the best environment or communities. So it's not about who is in
It's,
government.
it's funny.
It's
It's
only
funny. Yeah. The thing is, even talking about, you shouldn't. I think it should be a sin for them. They in like in the north, they have this is it Shiba police or whatever police that go about say people are drinking alcohol. Now,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
alcohol is still part of that VAT, and you guys, some of them, like they will even be trailing somebody like Obi, that the industry he created was alcohol. You understand that was the company he built in the east. You understand?
Yeah.
And you guys still participate in the VAT collected from alcohol. They
The
should
VAT
have even
collection.
said, yeah, please, can you are you able to remove the VAT that was generated from alcohol? Just remove it
From beer.
and give us the other one. Even the VAT that some like you have like some clubs, because clubs they are not supposed to be part of that. You understand? The VAT that was also generated from clubs that are sinful, all those sinful activities going on in the south, they should also minus it and send them the holy ones. You know, so but they are never going to say that. They're just concerned about the money that.
So, they should ask for only holy VAT. I don't hear anyone today.
Yes, holy VAT. That's what they need now. That's what they need. You know, is is just.
Well, that's Nigeria for you. A lot of conversations, and sometimes these kind of conversations are actually very important because we begin to, when you hear someone else's opinion, like, oh, okay, yeah, this makes sense. I wasn't thinking of this way because at the end of the day, it's for the future of
Yeah.
Nigeria. It's just for us to have a very equitable society where everybody begins to see the effect of certain things that have been done, especially economic policies, because men, Nigerians have not had the best when it comes to economic and even political, I don't know, activities in the last all our lives.
This down is not the best. These things, this tax reform is not going to, like I said earlier, it's not going to to like change the problems that we to remove the problems that we currently have, the structural problems we have. Because what we have is a structural problem. It's not going to heal any of that. But what I can say is that it's not going to make it worse. Like, like if you go back to regional system of government, you see every state you just manage your resources. You send 50% to
Yeah,
the
to the
center.
federative, yeah.
The state manages everything. It's going to help everybody. You don't have to start going back and forth with. You won't even care about who the president is. You understand? You won't care. You will just be concerned about your own local government. Give back that power to them and all that. But I guess that's not going to happen. Um. So
Well, I think the fear is that make if you give them powers, one person can try to run away and begin to clamor for his own country. So
I saw this.
they want to
I
hold everybody together.
I saw this. Who can like run away? How?
Now begin to have when you begin to create that what they call it, begin to be powerful. You begin to what they are most kind of to be very honest, it's just the Biafra state, the states that they call Biafra states. So that's
The
just
thing is,
the
the
fear.
thing is, even how is the Biafra they going to exist? Like you are landlocked, so they will create Biafra River State to be different. So even we know we have sense. You understand? It's not. You just need people to, because the truth is that the North, like we said earlier, they want to be holy. They want their Quran. They want their Islamic rights and all those things. They want their people to follow that way, and it is okay. You understand? Do it. Do you understand? Do it. Let them have like their own system that is independent of the federal government. They rule themselves the way they choose to. They want to rule themselves. The western regions and then the eastern regions, they want to have their own liberal way of life. Let them have it. It's simple. Let everybody. So if you move from east and then you go to north, you are under their own law. If you move from the east and you said you want to go to north, if and then you break one of their what's that their law called, code, you see, Sharia law, and you break they say that you shouldn't have a girlfriend and you have a girlfriend, You should be you have to face their own law since you moved there. You understand? But that's what we need. But the political class will keep deceiving their own citizens about having that independence because what they are telling them is that of course they know that if they do that, the oil money reduce there won't be any oil money for you. But it's just yeah, if all those guy is um
Well,
you know
it's
they don't have
it's been a long talk.
yeah.
And well, we'll begin to flesh out a lot of these things. There's so much talk about. This particular reforms also covers cryptocurrency regulations. I hear from somebody, talks about, you talked about personal income tax and then value added tax, which we also spoke about. And one of the very important thing I think we may need to talk about sometime is the support for education and infrastructure. Because there's a plan. There's a plan actually that it should be like 4% by next year, which will come down to 2% by 2030. So the 5 years plan. And so we'll have time to talk about that one. But let us remember that this particular tax reform is part of the APC's renewed hope agenda.
And even this thing you're saying are talking about
So
education. So the fund, how does it the educational fund that you're talking about, like how are they? I don't understand. Like I thought education is in the hands of states now. So
these taxes that are being collected, they'll be putting in some percentage in that fund.
so they will how are they going to
I'm
distribute it?
waiting.
How is it going to affect it? Because the education is in the hands of states now. So
Well, I mean, people are
or are you
collecting
talking about tertiary education?
no, it's just stated
Eh?
education. But mostly education. It's just stated education, but mostly it's mainly basic education. So I feel like there might be contributory funds to the state through their normal. I don't know how they give them the money,
That's why I keep telling you that
but education.
Nigeria is a very confused. Nigeria is very confused. Something like education shouldn't be in the federal government. Just give it to the states. What are you doing with education? Oh no, you are not, you, like
But
you can't.
how
The
many of the
government
states
fails at everything.
are serious about? But the state too. How many of them are serious about improving education in the states? How many?
That is that is the
Go to the
state's
north.
business. That is the state business. You say go to the north. Do you know the funny thing about the north? Eh? Do you know how many
Tell me.
primary schools these guys have? Do you know how many primary schools these guys have? Like public primary schools,
I
public
don't
secondary
know.
schools. Do you know how many they have? Like
Are you
is
saying
they
that they have a
have
lot of primary
is
schools?
very they have a they do. They do. If you move from one place and you just see another one, move you see another one. Is what what you say is that the people there, like I'll say their religion is kind of interfering with education. That is the problem they have. You understand? So somehow they feel like that education may be exposing them and may not allow them to practice their religion judiciously. So that may what may be happening. So that's what I keep telling you about. That's why I keep saying something about like you having a federal system. Some of them they want is it Quran or is it Islamic school or whatever. Yeah, let them have it. Let them do whatever thing they want to do. It is their own rights. If they guy, if things don't go back to state, you are handling education, primary and secondary education. Why are you handling that? Why? Leave it for the states.
But
Or you maybe if you
there's
want
always a
or you
flip
maybe you
side to
tell them
this.
"B- If what's the flip side? Even police,
No,
even
go ahead, go
security
ahead. I feel
should
like
be
network
left to the
is
state.
suffering.
What's the flip side?
But the flip side I'm saying about in some of these core northern states, there are Christian population
Yeah.
there. And that's the biggest argument with regards to how this will be arranged. Because in Kaduna, for example, there's Kaduna South.
Yeah.
In Borno, there are Christian Bornos. In Adamawa, they are full. So how would you begin to ask them to follow
When I
this
say
way if they are not even part of
no,
that
no, no,
system?
no, 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 no. When I said what I said like what I mean by region is not just about like the state in a whole. When you still come to the state, everything you still go down. The thing is that the government is overstressing themselves. You still go down to the local government. You understand? Let the local government do, like for instance now, if you want to have, even if let's say in Kaduna that they said they want to do like a Sharia law. They want to implement Sharia law like you suggested. If they, let's say they vote, they put it on ballot, say let us vote. So each people that voted, they will have it in their own local government system and all that. Now it will, but the other people is like an independent how do I put it, like you don't, the law, the essence of the local the essence of the local government, or the essence of the state government or the federal government is to like be an umbrella, you understand, and maybe when an issue is crossing between states between states, they will now try to handle it. It's not to come into the local issues, you understand. So people in Kaduna that you're talking about, they have a very high population of Christians. They are going to have their own way of life if you're actually implementing a true federalism. You understand? You are not going to ignore them. They will even it will even be in such a way that they will still be ruling, like they will still be picking them for governorship. If if you want to get vote from there, you have to acknowledge them. If you don't leave things, look at how it is
Well,
happening. If you don't leave things to state, it doesn't work, and there is no system that is
well,
perfect.
I understand
There's
you.
no
I
system.
understand you.
There's no system that is perfect. Like at the moment now, as we
But
are even talking at
but
the moment,
Nigeria is that
some places in the north are practicing Sharia law at the moment. How can you have how can you have our constitution recognize Sharia law? How can you have that? You understand? It is part of the system. So like it can't be like now if I go if you make if somebody does something and then they cut your hand or something, it's not against, you can't have two laws that are going against each other now. I just I don't get, the
well,
system is not working.
it's a lot to unpack.
It's
It's a lot
not.
to unpack. Maybe we can in our next conversation we
Yeah.
can
I
have
wanted us
that.
to stop. So you're just the one that has been bringing up these things. I wanted us to conclude since now.
Yeah, we're concluding now. We have, like I said, a lot to unpack, and we keep having these conversations because it's our duty, to speak truth
Yeah, to
to
inform the
to
public.
the system, to inform the public on what they should look out for, and to ensure that this particular tax reform does not portend any sort of burden to Nigerians and to people. So it's our duty to explain to people, take time, go through the reform, dissect it, internalize it, and try to understand it. And why we will always come back here to inform you guys. So yeah, we appreciate your time. Three Guys Media podcast is here to inform you. So like, subscribe, leave comments
Yeah.
on this particular episode of the Three Guys Media podcast. And I'm Collins Eto,
Yeah.
and my man Izuchukwu is always here with
Thank you
us. We
guys.
are
Yeah.
always going to to keep it hot and keep the information coming. So it's a good day, and so have a good day and a week ahead, guys. So it's bye from me.
Okay. Yeah. Peace. See you guys next time.